Gang, I'm not doing a review on fragrances today. In fact, I'm basically highlighting a perfume bottle designer and his contribution to the world of perfumery. It's Pierre Dinand. He has created over 1,000 bottles. Amazing bottles. I've got a book here written by Michael Edwards that I'm going to go over. And I'm going to show all the bottles that I have that he's designed. There's more that I don't own, but I'm going to show you all the ones that I have and talk to you about the bottles. And also, I sat with him recently in his atelier in Paris, and we had a conversation. He's an older man, so it's a long video. I'm going to cut to after I'm talking about the bottles here in this portion of the video. So if you want to learn about Pierre Dinand, perfume bottle maker for over decades, like I think 60 years he's been making bottles. But if you want to find out about him, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. Yes, today I'm talking about Pierre Dinand, perfume bottle maker who's been making perfume bottles for over 60 years. He's apparently made over 1,000 bottles, and I met with him a couple times already in Paris and went to his atelier. And in there you'll see all the amazing bottles that he's created. And to learn that he's created some of the bottles for some of my favorite perfumes, new and old, are featured here. Now, I discovered this book by Michael Edwards back in 2019 during Cannes, the TFWA show, when I visited the booth. It wasn't a booth, actually. It was brands get apartments, and they join together and share an apartment. And it could be one or two brands. It could be 3 or 4, 5, 6. This apartment had 3. And it was Miles Wambao, who is one of the brands that's listed in this book. So that's where I heard about this book, and I was quickly intrigued, and I was very curious to learn about Pierre Dinand and his creations and contributions to the world of perfumery. And then fast forward to 2022, just as things were opening up and I got to visit Europe again, because I wasn't able to go in 2020 and 2021. But in 2022, I went to Cannes. I'm not Cannes. What am I saying? I went to Aix-en-Provence in Milan, and that year it took place in June. And there I got to meet Pierre Dinand's grandson, Jules, who's created bottles for Headspace fragrances and so on. So I was very curious and very interested in learning more about Pierre, and we got to finally meet once last year and once this year. And I shot a video, and I'm going to put it up after my portion of the video here. So the book is a really great read. If you can get your hands on this book, I highly recommend it. It shows all the great fragrances that he's created the bottles for. And we're going to go ahead and start out with the original opium bottle here for YSL. In the video with Pierre, you'll learn about his experiences working with designers like YSL, Calvin Klein, and so on. So I don't have this bottle to show you, but we do have this bottle. This is a more recent fragrance. This is Phantom from the house of Paco Rabanne. He's done a lot of Paco Rabanne fragrances, which I have a few more here, but this is the most recent. And I'll show you, this is the quirkiest, more playful kind of a bottle, but this is his design. Are you guys fans of this fragrance? I think they have 2 versions of it now. There's the Eau de Parfum Intense, I think it was. This is Eau de Toilette. I think the next one was Eau de Parfum. But I really think the bottle is cute and quirky at the same time, and a very modern take on a bottle. What are your thoughts on this bottle? This is Paco Rabanne's Phantom, launched in 2021. So yes, Pierre is still making bottles. He's still designing. And again, he has left a lot of great bottle designs in the world of perfumery. Some of the perfumes are no longer being made, unfortunately, which I don't have as well here. But if you were to visit his atelier, it's an amazing space. There's so many great, bottles in there. And I really love looking at old historic perfume bottles. But let's move on to the next. So this I bought a couple of years ago, again, for the first time. This is the Vervain or Verbena fragrance from the house of L'Occitane, which is right here. I guess they might have changed it because this one seems like it's a bit darker colored. Here it's a bit more clear with the juice being, you know, kind of yellowish. But there's the name right there, Vervain or Verbena, Vervain in French. This was created in 1999. It's more of a simplistic bottle. Here we go with one of my classic favorites, which I recently got a bottle of. This is Obsession for Men. I'm assuming he created all of it because I think he touched on these fragrances. The women's came out in 1984. The men's came out in 1986. And when I was going to school in junior high, there were these girls that were in there that used to wear the ladies. And I used to smell it off of them. Very spicy. Here's the men's. Great fragrance. Really, really historic. Very spicy, very warm. Might even come off like pumpkin spice a little bit, but not quite. But it's more of a simplistic bottle, but you'll hear the stories about, I think, what they were going to call the fragrance before. If I can't remember exactly. But yeah, you'll see it. But here's a more recent bottle design for Wilhelm Parfumerie. And this is going to kind of look a little bit like the following fragrance if you look at the ribbing, the ridges that are in the bottle itself. This is Dear Polly, and in that book is Dear Polly. It's a great looking bottle. I first discovered Wilhelm Parfumerie fragrances at Barney's, and I was like, wow, these are really unique, very stubby bottles, but great design. But when you switch the page or turn the page, you'll come to this. This is Dior Eau Sauvage, one of my favorite classic men's fragrances. I love it. Really love it. Here it is. But basically, look at that. Kind of similar, right? The ridging is very similar. Very classic. I love that fragrance. It's one of my favorite fragrances, and I think the bottle is very iconic. I really think that bottle is one of the best bottles ever created. They continue using it for all the different flankers in that series, which is kind of cool because I love that bottle. It means a lot to me and has a lasting power, as in the bottle's been around for years, decades. Here's a classic that my mom wore, and I first discovered it probably when I was around 8. She had this bottle, 7 maybe even younger, because she had that for a while. And I'll show you the bottle. They still make it like that. They actually came out with a men's version, which I'm assuming Pierre created as well, Rive Gauche pour Homme, in the early 2000s, and that got discontinued so fast. But this one, they've kept the bottle. It's a very iconic looking bottle. Nice design, and always takes me back when I first saw that bottle as a young boy. I saw, wow, beautiful colors. The blue really stood out. And I was like, Mom, what are you spraying on that blue bottle, kind of a thing. So going back to Paco Rabanne, this is Calandre. Now I have this bottle, but sadly I don't have the cap. I bought a tester. I'll show you the bottle. It's the only thing I hate about buying testers. They don't come with the caps. I like this design. It kind of reminds me of a skyscraper. What do you guys think? Yeah, it would be great to have the cap for that, but this was like $30. The thing with this is it's been reformulated so much, it doesn't smell like what it's supposed to smell like. It's also kind of a bit like Rive Gauche pour Femme, or the original Rive Gauche. Next, an iconic men's fragrance that's been around for years, Paco Rabanne pour Homme, which I have here. Now the cap is not fitting here because it's a splash bottle, and when you take that out and pop that in, it'll fit it. But this is a fragrance my dad wore, and it has a lot of meaning to me. But a great design, very iconic bottle. It's been around for years, decades. I don't have this next bottle. It's Eternity for women. I don't know if he did the men's Eternity. Most likely he did because it's kind of sort of similar. This next one is a brand called Glass House. I'm unfamiliar with. This next bottle is gorgeous. I wish I had a bottle, but it's been long gone. That's from Armani. I think it's just Armani for women. Now this next one's such a classic bottle. I really love this brand for skincare, and they don't make a lot of fragrances, but this bottle is also very much similar to a lot of their bottles here. It's for Clarins. Are you guys familiar with Clarins fragrances? This is a very light, fresh fragrance after a shower. Clean, kind of citrusy, citrus florally, like an eau de cologne type. But gorgeous in the way they create it. But it's created by Jean-Francois Lati from IFF. So this next one is Jean-Michel Duriez. Is that how you say his name? I got to smell these fragrances over at Printemps in Paris, but I just smelled them there. I haven't really experienced them. This next one's for the brand Map of the Heart. Are you guys familiar with that brand? Let's see if I can show you. I have this bottle. I've actually reviewed it on the channel during my time at Saffler Bon. If I can take it out. It's a beautiful bottle. Right there. Great looking bottle design. Sadly, this brand doesn't get a lot of hype. They have some great creations. And the fragrances are Jacques Huclier, who did a lot of the Amen fragrance flankers. So this is Moschino Cheap and Chic. I don't have this bottle to show you. And then we've got Excess. I wore the original in the early 90s, but I didn't continue on. Pleasures by Estee Lauder. Simplistic bottle once again. This is Givenchy Isatis. Don't have that bottle either, sadly. And then Amarish, a bottle of perfume that I gave to my mom in the early 90s. That was a tuberose bomb. And here we have the Miles Wambao. I'll show that to you again. It kind of reminds me of a lighter, as you can see. This is Son of a Gun. Fragrances are created by Dominique Ropion and Jean-Louis Suizac. But a beautiful bottle, don't you think? I love the gradient look and the color of the bottle. Really wonderful. And they have multiple bottles. I've actually featured several on the channel, as you can see the bottles here. This next one is Le Sur de No. I don't know this brand, sadly. I've seen the bottles, but I don't know anything about the brand. Then we've got La Perla. I've never sampled that fragrance. The original Tiffany fragrance. I believe this is the original Tiffany fragrance from 1987. Le Jardin d'Aladin. I think that's what it says. I'm not familiar with this fragrance, but this reminds me of Patchouli by the fragrance house Al Jazeera. Quite a bit, that design. Here we have Azzaro from 1975. I don't have that fragrance. This is amazing. I love this fragrance. I have the bottle. I can show you. Yeah, this fragrance itself is iconic. And if you've noticed, some of the recent bottles are sort of similar. I'm uncertain if the newer versions, the new Gentleman series fragrances from Givenchy are also designed by Pierre, but the original is classic. I absolutely love that fragrance and love the bottle as well. Very iconic bottle from Givenchy. Then of course this Azzaro is also iconic. Really love this. Great fougere. I mean, it still reminds me of it, but it's gotten watered down throughout the years, but smells fantastic. I love that fragrance. It's a fougere, powerhouse style from Azzaro. And then this one for Dolce & Gabbana. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Simplistic. There's a lot of simplistic bottles. I think the ones that are more simplistic have tested, lasted, have have survived the test of time. But some of the more ornate bottles, really out there bottles, have come and gone, sadly, and you can see them in his studio. But his studio is not like open to guests. I made an arrangement to go and check and sit with him and discuss the bottles. And then finally we've got this, which my mom wore. This is Madame Rocha by Rocha. That bottle, I need to buy a bottle just to have because it's a gorgeous looking bottle and totally reminds me of my mom in the 70s when after I was born, she had a bottle of that. But that's the book, Perfume Legends, it's what it's called. 30 Drawings by Pierre Dinand. Pierre Dinand is the perfume bottle maker, and apparently he's made over 1,000 bottles, which is amazing. He's probably, I mean, he's definitely a perfume legend for sure. The name is appropriate for him, and if you can get the book, you should definitely try and figure out a way. I sadly think it's out of print, but I'm sure somebody might be selling it online. And the fragrances that I showed you, the bottles, which are some of your favorites? And then if any of them that I didn't have here, are there any there that you consider your favorites? Let me know. Put a comment down below. And then the actual portion with Pierre is just a conversation. We're sitting at the table and we're just chit-chatting, and Pierre does elaborate a lot. You can hear him speaking about all of his experiences and the bottle designs. It's pretty long. It's around an hour long. And so just make some popcorn and sit back and watch. But I appreciate you guys tuning in today to watch this video. Thanks so much. And if you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye, guys.